If you're constantly overlooked, used, or walked all over, it's not because the world is unfair. It's because you've trained it to treat you that way. Kindness is not your problem. Lack of boundaries is. And Machiavelli, though, centuries removed from today's self-help culture, understood this better than anyone. He knew that power wasn't just about politics or war. It was about presence, the unspoken laws you project, the lines you draw in silence, the permission you do not give. People don't respect you because you've given them no reason to fear the consequences of disrespect. You become a doormat, not when you're too kind, but when you allow kindness to replace command. Boundaries are not about protection. They're about power. Most people think boundaries are a soft concept, a polite request, a subtle hint, a self-care ritual. But Machiavelli would laugh at that. To him, boundaries weren't spiritual. They were tactical, a line of psychological warfare, an invisible wall between your identity and the world's attempts to invade it. The wise man does not allow others to shape his nature, he implied. Because if others define how you're treated, then you don't exist. You're a pawn. Every time you let someone overstep without consequence, you broadcast one thing: you are in control, not me. Boundaries are not suggestions. They are threats made real. They say, this far and no further. Violate this line and something will be taken from you. You teach people how to treat you, and they learn fast. Machiavelli believed people respond to structure, not goodness. You can be compassionate, but if your compassion has no spine, it will be consumed. Look closely. The friend who calls only when they need something. The co-worker who dumps their load on owner. You, the partner who guilts you into silence. These aren't accidents. They are trained behaviors. And the trainer is you. You responded. You accepted. You didn't resist. And in doing so, you taught them exactly what you would tolerate. From that moment forward, they're not being cruel. They're being logical. Why would they stop doing what benefits them when you've shown it them? There's no price. The first law of power. Stop being nice when you should. Be clear. Machiavelli's first rule for any rising prince was this: be feared when necessary. Not because fear is good, but because it's effective. If people know you won't enforce your limits, you become a soft target, the gentle soul, the understanding one, the always available. And this identity will drain your life dry. You'll give until you're empty. Then they'll ask for more, and you'll be too ashamed to admit you let it happen. Kindness without clarity is a slow suicide. So instead of trying to be liked, aim to be respected. And if that respect must come with a shadow of fear, so be it. Boundaries don't come from how softly you speak. They come from the consequences that follow when you're crossed. Make violations expensive. Machiavelli was clear. Mercy is only effective when backed by the threat of cruelty. If you forgive everything, you've created a system with no cost for betrayal. So here's the truth. No one wants to admit. If someone talks over you and nothing happens, they will do it again. If someone gossips about you and you stay silent, they'll sharpen the knife next time. If someone crosses your emotional limit and still gets access to you, they've learned that your boundaries are performance, not policy. The Machiavellian solution: make it costly. Cold withdrawal, public correction, total cutoff. They don't need to be destroyed, but they must feel the price of disrespect. Only then will they learn your silence is not weakness. It's a loaded gun. They never want to hear. Distance is power. Stop explaining yourself. Doormats over-explain. They try to justify every boundary. I just need time to myself. Hope you understand. I'm not upset. I just feel I'm not mad. I just stop. Machiavelli understood. Explanations are weaknesses. The more you explain, the more you negotiate your position, and the more others sense that you don't fully own your decision. You don't owe anyone a dissertation. You owe yourself loyalty. Your no should be complete. No, your not anymore should be cold. Your detachment should come with no reasons. No warnings, no lectures. People don't respect endless reasoning. They respect results. Walk away once and say nothing. That silence will teach more than a 100 emotional monologues ever could. Don't wait for rock bottom. Exit sooner, sharper, colder. Many doormats wait until they're broken to act. When the disrespect is so loud they can't ignore it anymore. But Machiavelli would say, a junior wise ruler acts before the revolt is visible, before betrayal becomes open, war before resentment becomes rot. If something feels wrong, act early. If someone drains you, cut quick. If the pattern repeats, don't wait for another lesson. Don't fall into the trap of hoping for change from someone who benefits from your weakness. The moment you feel your peace shrinking, your mind racing, your value being siphoned, pull back. Not dramatically, not emotionally, just cleanly like a blade sliding from a sheath. Build a code and never break it. Powerful people don't set boundaries on the fly. They live by a code. Machiavelli advised princes to create consistent policies, not emotional reactions. Because when rules are clear, respect is automatic. You need your own code of personal sovereignty. Examples: I never answer calls during work, and I don't explain my time to people who drain me. If someone speaks to me with disrespect twice, they lose access. If I feel guilted, I distance myself. Once these are written, enforce them mechanically. No second-guessing, no inner debates, no dragging your heart into the equation every time. Your code is your spine, and the moment you bend it, people stop seeing you as solid. You are not a doormat by nature. You became one by permission. That ends now. You're not here to beg for better treatment. You're here to command it through presence, through policy, through consequence. And I think in the next part, we'll go deeper into the systems Machiavelli would build to prevent boundary erosion and how you can make people self-regulate around you without ever raising your voice. But for now, remember this. The moment you stop asking to be respected and start requiring it through action, the world rewrites your role and power returns. You've drawn the line. You've stopped explaining. You've shown the first flash of backbone. Now comes the part most people fail at maintenance, because the problem with setting boundaries isn't the beginning. It's the moment after, when people test you, when they push back, when they pretend not to hear the line you clearly drew. Machiavelli would say, this is where most rulers fall. They create laws but fail to enforce them. They threaten punishment but deliver forgiveness. They demand respect but flinch at conflict. In his words, it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Because fear, even just a sliver of it, enforces boundaries automatically. So now we stop being polite. We build the system Machiavelli would design to make violating your limits feel like a mistake no one dares to repeat. Make the cost of disrespect immediate and inevitable. A line is only a boundary if it has a consequence, and consequences must be fast, clear, and unflinching. Machiavelli believed a prince should act decisively and punish early, especially after betrayal. Not because he was cruel, but because hesitation breeds rebellion. When someone disrespects your limit, don't warn them again. They already knew. Don't ask them why. They'll lie or deflect. Don't start a debate. Your energy is not a courtroom. You act. You stop replying. You walk away mid-sentence. You cancel the meeting. You change the tone from warmth to stone. No warning, no words, just a shift so sharp it leaves a mark. People remember pain, and if disrespect leads to discomfort, they'll avoid it. Not because they respect your soul, but because they fear the cost. Reframe boundaries as justice, not pettiness. The reason you hesitate to enforce boundaries is because you think it makes you selfish, harsh, dramatic, too much. But that's because you see boundaries as acts of ego. Machiavelli would correct that. He saw enforcement as governance. You don't punish because you're angry. You punish to preserve order in your world, your psyche, your kingdom. So stop thinking, am I overreacting? And start thinking, what kind of system am I reinforcing right now? Because every time you let someone off the hook, you're voting for a kingdom without rules where anyone can barge in, take your peace, and leave you in pieces. Boundaries are not emotional. They're structural. You're not being cold. You're being consistent. Use emotional distance like a sword. Machiavelli advised rulers to stay emotionally removed from their subjects. Not cruel, but controlled, because emotion clouds decisions, and excessive closeness invites manipulation. You need to practice the same cold discipline. When someone oversteps, your instinct may be to explain, argue, or plead for understanding. Stop. Instead, create emotional space. Pull back without discussion. Let them feel the void without filling it. That distance says everything. I'm not chasing you. I'm not convincing you. If you want access, again, you'll have to earn it differently. You don't need to scream. Just exit quietly. Finally, without tension, just total removal of warmth. That absence, it will haunt them more than any fight ever could. Master the art of strategic ambiguity. Sometimes, boundaries are clearest when they are unclear, but still felt. Machiavelli often spoke in veiled threats, indirect language, and calculated silences. Why? Because mystery makes people regulate themselves. When people don't know exactly where your line is, they behave extra carefully just in case. Try this. Say less when someone disrespects you. Let the silence stretch. Don't explain why you're pulling away. Just do it. When someone pushes for justification, I'd answer with, "You know why." This forces them to think, to reflect, to panic. It makes them fear they've crossed a hidden threshold they didn't understand. And next time, they'll tiptoe. You don't always need to build high fences. Sometimes the threat of invisible trip wires is more effective. Withdraw your energy. It's the highest currency. Attention is fuel. Approval is power. Access is status. And if someone violates your boundary, the most Machiavellian punishment is simple. You cut their supply. Don't yell. Don't warn. Don't post passive-aggressive quotes on your story. Just start removing what they want most. Your emotional availability, your praise, your validation, your curiosity, your time. You become empty to them. This is how powerful people operate. They don't get louder when disrespected. They become vacant, and that silence is louder than rage. A man who vanishes without warning is 10 times scarier than one who argues. Make people qualify for your presence. One of Machiavelli's darkest truths. Value is manufactured through scarcity. The prince who's always seen becomes common. The one who's distant becomes legendary. You must make your time, your energy, and your kindness something people earn, not receive by default. Ask yourself, who gets access without effort? Who drains without return? Who assumes you'll always be available? Now reverse it. Make people work for your softness. Make kindness a privilege, not a personality trait. Make warmth selective, not automatic. The second people start seeing your kindness as a feature they can exploit you've already lost. But the second they see it as a reward they might not get again, respect returns like a thunderclap. Your life is a fortress, not a public park. Most people's emotional lives are open, borders. Anyone can walk in, say anything, take anything, and leave. Machiavelli would say, your kingdom must be defended always. Your attention is royal property. Your emotional state is national security. Your time is currency for conquest. So act like a ruler. Decline invitations without guilt. Protect your peace like it's gold. Keep your inner circle impossibly small. No one respects a fortress with open gates. No one fears a prince who lets peasants sit on the throne. Shut the doors. Let them knock. Let them wonder if they're still welcome. And if they are, make sure they know it's not because they demanded entry. It's because they earned your permission. You are now building something deeper than self-respect. You're building command, the kind that reshapes relationships, that ends manipulation, that makes people pause before speaking to you, not because you're cruel, but because you're calculated. In the next part, we'll dive into Machiavelli's principles for reprogramming how people see you, so they no longer test your limits but instinctively obey them. Because true, boundaries are not just enforced. The best ones are never crossed in the first place. You've enforced the line. You've made the cost of disrespect known. You've pulled back, gone cold, shut the gates. Now you reach the most powerful phase, changing how people see you. Because Machiavelli understood a truth that most never grasp. Your real power isn't in how you respond when they cross the wood line, but in how you train them to never even consider crossing it in the first place. This is about psychological framing, controlling your reputation so precisely that people instinctively just regulate their behavior around you the same way they lower their voice in a cathedral or straighten their posture in front of a judge. This is where boundaries become automatic, not because people love you, but because they fear misreading you. Redefine your identity. Never be nice again. Nice is the most dangerous label you can carry. It sounds flattering, but it's a coffin with flowers on top. Nice people get stepped on. Nice people get ignored. Nice people become emotional punching bags because everyone assumes they'll bounce back with a smile. Machiavelli knew this. What people expect from you controls how they treat you. So stop being nice. Start becoming something else. Calm but unshakable. Generous but unavailable. Friendly but hard to read. Kind but cold when needed. This shift doesn't happen through talk. It happens through behavior. Start removing the signals that scream harmless. Stop over-smiling. Stop softening your tone at the end of every sentence. Stop apologizing for existing. You are not a gentle breeze. You are controlled fire. Let them feel like that. Create tension with your silence. Doormats talk too much. They fill silence with apologies, reassurances, nervous laughter. But Machiavelli prized strategic silence. Why? Because it creates tension, and tension breeds caution. You must learn to speak less, but mean more. When someone jokes at your expense, don't laugh, just stare. When someone pushes, don't defend, just fall silent and let their words hang in the air like smoke. When someone asks too much, pause and say, that won't work for me. No anger, no drama, just space. This forces them to reflect, to second guesses, to wonder. Did I go too far? Is he angry? What is she thinking right now? That's control. Because when people fear how you'll respond, they start behaving better without needing to be told. Be the one who withdraws first. Power belongs to the person who's willing to walk away first from the conversation, from the deal, from the relationship. Machiavelli believed that to rule well, a prince had to be emotionally detached, willing to sacrifice comfort for control. Apply this brutally. In arguments, exit. Don't escalate. In disrespect, disappear. Don't beg. In pressure, say no once and leave it there. Let people feel what happens when they go too far. Access gone. Connection broken. Energy revoked. Don't announce it. Don't make it theatrical. Just vanish and let silence teach the lesson. Once people realize you're not afraid to leave, they'll never make you prove it again. Control. Perception through contrast. Machiavelli was a master of contrast. He knew that extremes magnify impact. You do the same. Be warm when respected. Be stone when crossed. This contrast trains people on how to earn your best. Try this. Be generous with someone who respects your time and go dead quiet power when they don't. Be engaging with someone who listens and emotionless when they interrupt. Be available when appreciated and invisible when taken for allow granted. This creates a behavioral pattern. When I treat them well, I get the best of them. When I don't, they disappear. That's operant conditioning. You're not just defending kindness, boundaries. You're engineering behavior. Never repeat yourself. Make your limits final. Every time you repeat a boundary, why? You weaken it. Every time you say, this is the last time, but let them stay, you train them to ignore your words. Machiavelli advised, when punishment is necessary, let it be swift and never repeated. This is your new rule. One line, one warning, one reaction. That's it. No chasing, no reminders, no drawn out lectures. When someone asks, why are you acting different? Respond with, I already told you once. I don't repeat myself. Now your presence carries gravity. Your words carry weight. And wherever your boundaries, they become laws. Stay unreadable. Kill predictability. The most dangerous people are hard to read. And Machiavelli wrote endlessly about the power of unpredictability. Why? Because predictable people are easy to manipulate. If people always knows when you'll give in, if they know your moods, if they know you'll forgive after a few hours, then they own you. Change that. Respond slower. Say maybe more. Often. Let your silence stretch longer than they expect. Say no without a smile. People fear what they can't calculate. When your responses become harder to predict, your presence becomes harder to test. And that's when they stop pushing. Make your standards visible and let people fall below them. You don't need to cut everyone off loudly. Sometimes the most Machiavellian move is to let them disqualify themselves. Here's how. Keep leveling up without inviting everyone. Make your schedule tighter without apologizing. Keep your peace high so anyone chaotic looks foolish around you. Eventually, the people who can't meet your new standard will leave themselves. No confrontation, no drama, just natural selection. People either rise to meet your frame or collapse under its weight. And you never had to raise your voice. This is how Machiavelli would teach you to stop being a doormat by altering the way people see you, by rewriting your role in their mind, by turning your presence into something that commands precision, respect, and fear. In the final part, we go even deeper. You'll learn how to rebuild your life so that boundaries are no longer moments you defend, but an entire system that defends itself. Because the end goal is not to keep saying no, it's to build a life so elevated, so powerful that people never dare to ask in the first place.